Looking to replace your OEM diesel particulate filter or diesel oxidation catalyst? Look no further than DPF XFit, a complete line of aftermarket diesel particulate filters and diesel oxidation catalysts designed as an exact fit OEM replacement with all makes coverage for light, medium, and heavy-duty trucks. With thousands of units in stock, we ship the same or next day, and be sure to check out our comprehensive reverse OEM lookup tool. Always new, never remanufactured. For more information, be sure to visit dpfxfit.com. That's dpfxfit.com.
For more than a decade, FTI has strived to become the leader in the aftermarket performance transmission and converter industry. We've joined forces with McLeod Driveline Components under the leadership of Top Fuel Funny Car pilot Paul Lee, and now have a larger distribution network, more resources, and more power. Come see us in the pits and ask how you can join the FTI family. It's not cheating, it is the competitive edge.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, WFO Radio is on the air, and I'm Joe Castello, experimenting with a little something new as through our streaming software. And I am wondering if you guys heard like echoing during those commercials. If so, please let me know in the chat. It seems to have gone away once I started talking. But if that is the case, then we can't ever do that again. It's just that simple, but it sounds like things have normalized. But let me tell you what we are trying to accomplish. You all know that we talk NHRA drag racing here on a regular basis. We're going to have interviews with Brittany and Matt Hagan that we recorded out at the Media Center at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're going to talk to Brittany. We're going to talk to Hagan as they made it interesting with big wins. We're going to get into all that. Also on the show, Josh Hachat, the Director of Communications for NHRA, is going to be on, give us some just a roundup of all the news, some previews into what's going on for the NHRA Finals. All that is going to happen. I'm just wondering if anything that I play is going to have that echo. So let me know in the chat section, and I'll try to do a workaround. You guys have watched this show long enough to know that it is perfectly imperfect. And if we run through an issue, we're just going to deal with it as best as we can on the air live and to do that. What we're trying to accomplish, though, is the solution to one of life's great issues. Like, do you broadcast like this or like this? Because we've got Instagram, we've got quite a few people on our Instagram account, and our new software, not new so much, but the one we've used for a while, StreamYard. Thank goodness for StreamYard, by the way, just to let you behind the scenes. Like, it's making this thing like possible. It wasn't necessarily possible, but I love them greatly. But they came up with this like, hey, we can broadcast to both. And me, let's just dive in and try it. No test. It kind of forced me to do it. And so if there's an echo, then that's a bummer. We're all going to just kind of fight through it. I'll figure a workaround. If there's no echo, then we're just going to continue like damn the torpedoes. Let's see what people say. No echo. No echo. Sounds great. I'm in the spots, guys. I'm in the spots. So no echo. No echoes on my end. It was perfectly smooth. Says everyone, this is a greatness. Amazing. Now, are we streaming vertically to YouTube in the short section? That's another thing. But hey, I love to bring everybody behind the scenes. If we have a massive failure, you get to know and laugh and watch us try to overcome it. That's part of the whole WFO experience. I'm real excited. Josh Hachat going to be on the show. Great friend, extremely knowledgeable about drag racing. You know, Director of Communications, NHRA, kind of one of those behind the scenes positions. Not everybody wants to be in front of the camera. They want to be out there, but, and we're not forcing Josh to do it either, but some of the most knowledgeable people are not forward-facing people. You read his stuff on NHRA.com on a regular basis. So share the show. Let's share the show. You've all put me at ease, making me feel great that we did not have this train wreck at the start. Wouldn't it have been great had I not even mentioned it, right? Just don't even mention it. Just hope and pray that everything was fine. Nah, that's not what WFO is all about. I think you guys know one way or another that you're going to get the real deal. But there will be another opportunity. Maybe the echo will come back or maybe it won't. Now, I want to get into a few things. We've got the Brittany Force interview. We've got the Matt Hagan interview. We're going to talk finals. But to me, we got to prioritize the things that are the most important. Number one, happy Veterans Day. To all of our veterans out there, as you all know, and I've said it a zillion times, I was raised by a Marine Corps veteran yesterday, the 250th birthday anniversary of the United States Marine Corps. 250 years for the Marines out there. And a joke all the time, I was not in the United States Marine Corps. My father, when the recruiters came around, he was in during the Vietnam era. We had a deep conversation about it. And Dad loved the Marine Corps so much. And every Marine Corps birthday, we would have a talk about it. He would post about it. And I made a little post yesterday to keep that going. Thinking about it, though, 250 years, our country is about to turn 250. We make a big deal about the 75th season of the NHRA or the 60th In-N-Out Burger Finals. 250 years. It's just amazing. The United States Army got a huge parade on the 250th. Marine Corps, they don't need that. They're meat and potatoes. They got like a small budget, tough fighting force, tip of the spear. Happy birthday, Marines. Semper Fi. All of you out there, thank you for what you've done. And Veterans Day. It's such a micro fraction of people who serve. I'm spending a lot of time at the NHRA with the YES program, and I hear the story of the United States Air Force every week. And I meet a different airman talking about their story. They're a recruiter, and it just, fills my heart. I do think if I could have gone back, I might change my route. But I got to say, those who did, like my friend Paul, countless others who serve, who race, Pete Lanciers, Battleship Sailor Navy, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys. And it's like, yeah, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Hey, thank you for your service. It's like one of those things like, does it have meaning when all these people are saying it? Well, it has meaning when I'm saying it. Thank you for your service. We know what the world could be like if people just gave up on service. It means something big. And we do honor those who are our first responders at every race. NHRA, in my opinion, and I'm a part of it, and I do value the work that I do. I think they're the best at it, but, bar none, the best of honoring those who serve. Police officers, firefighters, EMTs, first responders, dispatchers, active duty military veterans, those who serve, not just the challenge coin, but in general. Well, this week on Friday, veterans and active duty military, as I understand, will be honored once again at the In-N-Out Burger Finals at Pomona. A free meal from In-N-Out, the challenge coin, all kinds of great stuff. We'll talk with Josh about that a little bit. But that is great. It's Friday. And so if you know a veteran, bring them out. And yes, I'll be honest, could hide it. Is it self-serving? Maybe. We want to get our veterans. We want to pack the grandstands with people who served and give them a good time. We want to showcase the sport to them, make them feel part of it. This is a sport, NHRA drag racing, guys, that is built on veterans. Big Daddy Don Garlitz told me it's on YouTube somewhere. It's in countless videos. When guys came back from World War II, the normal life was not enough anymore. They had been changed. I hate to say it, like the adrenaline of war, dodging bullets, fighting for your life, overcoming obstacles, achieving glorious victories, and some horrible defeats. They weren't just going to go pull a plow on a farm. You pull a plow. They wanted to race. They wanted to do stuff. They built these machines. They got in cars. They were unafraid. Drag racing was born and accelerated in the wake of World War II. So if there's any sport that owes tribute to veterans, people who serve, it's the National Hot Rod Association. I'm excited that they will be doing something this weekend. Blake says it's my birthday. I'll be 26 on Friday. That's cool. A lot of my buddies have served. I thank them. Thank you to all the veterans for your service. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend. Thank you, BEH. Good afternoon. It all comes down to the last race of the season How about The Rock and MIR for next year? See you at Bernie's in March. Thank you, David. Yeah, a lot of news to talk about. But I want to start the show with the interview. See, I'm a little gun shy about the echo. We're going to just go with it, right? You guys will tell me along the way. The first is with Brittany Force. Brittany gets the job done in Vegas. As you know, I was on Life's a Drag last week, and we did a Vegas recap with Elin and Jason. They'll be on tomorrow as I make my way to Los Angeles for the finals, right? But we had a great show. If you didn't see that show, one thing I did hold back was these two interviews, so you can check them out now. The glow and the aura of Brittany Force, able to accomplish. Of course, she would have loved to win the championship. That wasn't in the cards. She's a two-time champion. But let's face it, she had to get a win before the season was over, just to commemorate her guys, her career, the whole thing. She announces her retirement. Would she be able to go out on some sort of a high note? And she did. She got it done in Vegas, a tremendous victory over Sean Langdon. She had success. Langdon beats Doug Coletta. So much to talk about that race, and we did on Life's a Drag. But they didn't get to see the Brittany Force interview. Let's all watch it together. Brittany Force, John Force Racing. She and I have done this interview many times because she wins in Vegas so often. And let's check out Brittany Force. Here we go. And here she is, Brittany Force. We have done this interview a few times with all your wins in Vegas. We might as well do another one. But Brittany, this one's got to feel a little different.
It is. It's, Pomona's closing in so quickly. It's coming up so quickly. And I announced in Reading that I'll be stepping out of the seat at the end of the season. My husband and I are going to try to start a family. So when that countdown kicked off, it was this new pressure that came on, and it was, we want to get to that winner circle. We want to end strong, and to win in the countdown would be incredible. It'd be huge. Obviously, we were chasing a championship, but then, now reevaluating, looking at, coming into Vegas, coming into Pomona, these last few races, we want to get to that winner circle. So to be able to do it here, we did it last year here. This is our lucky racetrack. So proud of every single one of my guys, David Grubnick, John Collins, and the entire Chevy team.
Yeah, John was on the starting line, and, we go to John a lot because David is so deep in thought and whatnot. You guys were having a good time this weekend with the mask and the fun, but it has to be, exciting to win, but also a bit of a relief, like, yeah, we got one in here.
Oh, yes, because there would be this added pressure going into Pomona if we couldn't get it done today, this added pressure of ending the season strong, getting another win. We're still going to do it. We're still going to chase down that win in Pomona, but to be able to do it here, at least it takes the pressure off a little bit. And every single one of my guys, since I told them what my plan was coming into the season, every single one of them has told me, we want to win one more. We want to get you in that winner circle. We have to get you in that winner circle. And it's awesome to hear them say that, but have their support through, the decisions I've made and, my decision at the end of the season, and they have my back through it all, and they wanted to get me to that winner circle. Yeah.
Makes sense. You have to do it. You got your sisters, your whole family. You guys got to try. I get it. But to see the way these guys have rallied around you, they're like your extended family now.
They are. My team, when you're on the road, 20 events out of a season, and I even do more than that with sponsor events where you're gone a lot. You're in and out of airports. You live out of a suitcase. You're in a different hotel every single weekend. And when you're out here this much, you're away from home. You're away from family. So these people out here become your family. Your team becomes your family. I'm very lucky that, my parents come along for, most of the trips. My husband comes to most of the races, and, to have my dad out here every single weekend, that makes it much easier. But my team, they kind of become your family, and they are such team players. If you go back to Charlotte, I made them do this crazy Britney Spears video, and they were all game for it. And we did this dance in my pit, and it was just a fun video we did. And then this weekend, a couple weekends ago in Dallas, we all sat down to a team dinner. We're like, we should do something for Halloween in Vegas. We should do something. And we're just last minute, we procrastinate. And the morning that I was driving to Vegas, so Wednesday when I was driving over, I'm on the phone with my guys. Guys, I'm in the Halloween shop. What should I buy? Like, this is so last minute, but let's find something. So we went with a monster theme, since we're, monster team. We went with monster masks, and every single one of them was a team player. Grabbed 10 masks, brought them out here. Each guy grabbed their mask. We wore it all day Friday, Q2, warming up the car, working on the car, brought it up to the line. All the guys wore their masks, and it was really cool just to see, they were such team players, and to have fun.
That is awesome. No, listen, it's so exciting. I mean, beyond the news of drag racing, this has been a very fun season. It's been great to watch you kind of really blossom in this season, kind of realizing what it means to you.
Thank you.
I know you're not going anywhere, though. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to be at the track, right?
Yes.
Like, Josh is going to drive the car.
Yeah.
That has been announced since the last time we talked. And you know, you correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but you're going to be running John Force Racing in a way, right? Is that fair?
We're still, things have not been decided yet. We'll make announcements, you know, still a little bit later. But yes, my main thing was when I stepped out of the seat, my main focus, my top priority was I want to keep this David Grubnick team together. I want to keep him together. I want to keep him under the John Force Racing umbrella. And I want to continue to watch them succeed because I know that they're not done. I know that there's still so much out there for them. And I want to watch them continue to move forward. And so that was a big top priority for me, was keeping them together. So it's been in the works for, I mean, a long time. You know, trying to, you know, find a way to make it work. And we did that, bringing Josh Hart over. He's going to get in the seat of my car, and I'm really excited for all of them next year.
I am. All right, go celebrate. How do you celebrate on a night like this in Vegas? What do you do?
Well, we usually hit up a Mexican restaurant that is Grubnick's favorite. It's way off the strip, so I'm sure we'll end up there. But for a team gift, I got my guys a shot ski. You know what a shot ski is? So it looks like a ski, like you go skiing down.
Oh, yeah, I do.
And it holds little shot glasses. So I plan to give it to him in Pomona because I always give my guys something at the end of the season. But when we were in the winter circle, I called my husband. I'm like, bring the shot ski, bring it up here. And Grubnick didn't know how he was going to feel about it. And I'm like, Grubnick, don't be mad at me. And he's like, oh no, what do you have now? So I pulled it out and he's like, no, this is awesome. And on the shot ski, it has our mile per hour on it. So it's pretty cool.
Oh.
So we celebrated already in the winter circle. Mine didn't have tequila or vodka or any hard liquor in it.
Yeah, just Monster, guys, just Monster.
Yeah. So it was just a fun thing to do with the guys.
Brittany, congratulations. Awesome
you.
stuff. And our tradition continues. The balcony interview at Vegas.
Yes, thank you, Joe.
Great job.
Thank you.
There she goes, Brittany Force, with us here on WFO Radio on location. Love getting that interview. There's quite a few of them out there now. She has done a great job. You can see, at least I feel like you should be able to see and notice that Brittany is, you know, as a very happy person. Simple as that. A very happy person right now. She loves her team. She loves her guys. She loves her sport. She's made a decision, a big decision, a difficult decision, and she delivered on something. Like, I would watch out for Brittany Force this weekend, as we are seeing with so many different racers. Like, when you get that pressure off of you, you perform even better. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Brittany Force didn't go out there and have a great weekend this weekend as well. I'm excited for Josh Hart. The SEMA coverage was pretty amazing and intense. All the breaking news. We'll talk a little bit about that. The Rockingham, the TBD race has been announced. What do you think? All those people who said, so many of them said they won't even be a TBD race. It's just going to be, and no, it's going to be Rockingham. I'm very excited about that. I was just there at Rockingham and I scouted the place, and you can go back into past shows and see what I said about it. We'll talk about it with Josh Hachat from NHRA. But so Brittany Force, great success. Doug Coletta on the precipice of a second championship. Matt Hagan delayed the Austin Proc championship somewhat. And, you know, who knows? I can tell you that the way I've got it figured, it's all on NHRA.com. But if Austin wins first round, it's pretty much over. If he loses first round and Hagan goes on to win the race, then, you know, then things could get crazy. But that all depends on qualifying points and what happens in qualifying. Like, if the Proc Rocket gets no qualifying points, I guess it could happen. He might not show up to the race. He might decide there's something better to do that weekend. Austin could just go, you know, take a job on like Top Chef. But I feel like he's going to show up, and I feel like they're going to get some qualifying points. And so we'll have to wait and see. But Hagan is making it a race and giving us a little something to talk about. Regardless, they won the Wally in Vegas, which was most important. Let's talk about Matt Hagan. Let's see what he had to say after the win on the same balcony in a different direction. All right, WFO Radio here with Matt Hagan. Matt Hagan, American Rebel Light Beer. You just got the job done at Vegas. That's a big one. Kind of got the monkey off your back with the Austin deal.
Yeah, you know, Austin, those guys are tough over there. Obviously, a lot of respect for that team. You know, pretty much led the points all year, and out here still leading the points. We're just chasing and working hard, and hopefully we can get another win in Pomona and give ourselves a shot at winning my 5th championship. It's cool to be in the hunt, man. You know what I mean? And our guys have done a great job. Mike Knutson, Alec Conway, Phil Schuler, making the calls out there. They're doing a great job. First time as a new crew chief, So we'll get to Pomona and make it exciting. We're having a lot of fun doing it. 3 wins for the season. Didn't expect that really out of a first-time crew chief, but goes to show you, man, you believe in people and bring them up, and they work hard, and they got a lot to show. So I'm excited about what the future has to hold. But we need to go out here and win this thing in Pomona and keep this thing interesting.
I love the fact that you're confident, you're in it. These are nitro cars. Anything can happen, a reason to go out there. But the run that I think was the key, I think it was the semi run that you guys threw down. You were in the 80s, and that forced them to step up.
Yeah, no, I think that really did push them into a situation where they're not really used to. They're usually running 500-600s better than everybody else, and we were right there knocking on the door, and I told Newt, I said, dude, we got nothing to lose, just go out there and race as hard as you can, and he did. We went another 87 out there and turned the wind light on, and they were pressing hard, and it didn't stick for them. And here we are talking to you, Joe, talking to all the winners on WFO. But it's been a good weekend, man. And unfortunately in Dallas we had a blow up that kind of didn't got us behind the 8 ball a little bit, and then things lead to not qualifying well and having a hard round first round. So we come in and set the pace on Friday, and we had a really good run. We've been down the racetrack every run this weekend, and I think that's what we kind of need to grow into Pomona, and hopefully that first 2 runs out there always kind of set the pace. So that's what I'm looking forward to in Pomona.
Well, go celebrate. Great job. Big
All
win.
right.
One more to go.
Thanks, Joe.
There he is, Matt Hagan. Hagan taking the time for us after the big win, media center responsibilities, giving us a plug there. Thank you very much, Matt Hagan. Yeah, I'd like to think that WFO Radio has done pretty well over the years. We've had a great season. We're going to continue through the off season, by the way, guys, as is Life's a Drag. Whether they know it or not, they know it. We're going to keep going with a lot of content to discuss. We're going to do what we do each season, try to connect with every champion out there, which means Sean Bellemere will be on the show at some point. And Justin Lamb, congratulations to Justin Lamb, got the job done this past weekend, doubled up in super stock and stock. He had to win the race. Like, that's one that I can't imagine. Now, as someone who is starting a very minor Lucas Oil Series career and likes to think it would be fun to be in pressure-packed situations and see what happened to me. Justin Lamb, 5-time champ, right? It's old hat to him. Had to win the race to become the champion. And he did. He won the race. Beat Craig Gaultier in the final. Sorry, Craig. Jeez. Justin Lamb, what are you going to do, right? Craig Gaultier made a nice post. This guy's been hunting his first win. He's been to a couple of final rounds. He's like, I'm glad the championship went through me. That's right. Craig Gaultier is the answer to a trivia question now. Like, who did Justin Lamb beat in the final round to become a 6-time world champion? Like, that's awesome to be in that, to be part of the Justin Lamb career. You'll get your win, Craig. It's coming, baby. It's coming. But that having been said, we're going to speak with Justin. We'll speak with Bubba Linky. We'll speak with J.R. Gray. We're going to try to catch up with everybody here on WFO and do those championship interviews and get the behind-the-scenes stories, and all of that is coming soon. All right, before Josh Hachat joins us and we talk roundtable, I want your comments in the comments section. Let's hear what you guys have to say about everything, right? Like, Erica running winter season in Pro Mod. There's so many great things. Like the round table, I started tweeting the SEMA stuff. I didn't go to SEMA this year, as many of you know. And I thought, I'm just going to tweet things that I think are news. Jasmine Salinas getting her funny car license in Bob Tasca's funny car. Very smart by Jasmine to double up her opportunity to drive a nitro car. That's number one. Very smart by Tasca to give her an opportunity. And, she told Tony Pedregon that. I got a retweet on the comment by Bob Tasca, which I consider that a confirmation. So there you go. I think that's great. The unveiling of Maddie Gordon's Top Fuel Dragster. I found that to be very exciting. Congratulations to Ron Cap. Still waiting on some details, but are we? You know, the crew chiefing job that happens at Clay Milliken's with Tony Schumacher, with Jimmo and Nicky now being separated on the two cars, made me go, where's Rob Flynn going? What's up with that? And I'm not suggesting that he's going to be the crew chief for Matty Gordon. I'm not suggesting that. But if you didn't think of that as one of the possibilities, then what's going on? Like, that's one of the obvious possibilities. So we'll let Caps unveil that in time. The car looks awesome. It's bright. You can't miss it. Carlisle Tools gets into the mix with Cornwell Tools and Mac Tools and Matco Tools. Like, man, when it comes to NHRA drag racing, we buy a lot of tools. We love our tools. And I think it's very exciting for Carlisle Tools. The fact that Rip Reynolds has gone to work for Cruz Pedregon. I love that. Rip is a great guy. And, you know, semi-retired, and Cruz needs help. Cruz needs help, man. Everybody needs help. That's our big problem in the sport, is there's not enough help. Reliable, sharp people that are willing to do what they got to do. And Cruiser brought on Rip Reynolds. I thought that was pretty cool. The Keith Haney stuff. KB Titan is going to have a Rive and Drive Pro Mod program. What? Makes perfect sense. Your Jim Whiteley. Jim Whiteley has been a huge supporter of Pro Mod since day one and continues to be. And the only conversation that I found, like, Greg Anderson's like, I'm worried I'm going to like it. I'm worried I might drive one, and I'm worried I'm going to like it. I bet he would. I bet he would like it. You know, go about 0.8 faster than he's currently going. That could be exciting. There's so much happened at SEMA to Brian and Jordan and Tony and everybody that was part of that broadcast. They did a great job. It was the first day was just tremendous stuff. All right. So drop some questions in the chat section. And when Josh Hachat joins us, not long from now, we'll talk about it. But first, I want to tell you about the people who make it possible for me to go WFO. Like, first of all, guys, merch is on sale, baby. Merch is on sale right now. It's discounted. I always tell you, if you're going to get a t-shirt, you got to do it while they're on sale. I don't want you wasting your money. All right. And they're like 35% off now. Normally like $22. You can get them for $16, something like that. Now's the time. Get yourself a Project Pontiac shirt. That's two-sided. It's a little bit more. But now's the time. The merch link is in the chat as we speak. But we've got great sponsors. These people literally make it possible, like Foggit. This Christmas, get the person you love a can of Foggit. Ooh, look how I look vertically. Oh, you guys can't see that. Maybe if you're watching on shorts, you would. Probably not the best view of me. But hey, we're streaming vert, baby. Whoever came up with this vertical thing, I don't know. I think they should get a firm punch in the stomach. A can of Foggit is mandatory at every race trailer and every garage. You got to have a can of Foggit. They're available at summit-racing-equipment.com. Go to Summit Racing Equipment, get yourself a can of Foggit just to support the show, guys. It's as simple as that. Just to support the show. And then you use the product and realize how great it is. That's it. I'm the gateway. I'm asking you to buy a can of Foggit at Summit Racing Equipment. It's a great gift for the holidays. Our friends at Bernie's Speed Shop. BURNYZZ.com. Bernie's, Josh Hart's home base. They will be on the John Forrest Racing Dragster at the Gator Nationals this coming year. It's going to be awesome. Seeing Josh Hart. Josh has got a tough task. I bet you he lives up to the expectations. That's my call right from now. Josh Hart gets to go in. It's a close-knit team over there. He's going to have to build a chemistry with them. It's going to be a challenge. My money's on Josh. I think he's going to do a great job because I have seen Bernie's and I have been there off hours, not just for the Fan Fest. I've talked to the employees. I've seen what he has done with those guys and they love working for him. They love their, we'll call him a leader, if you will. And so the next time you're looking for a classic muscle car, go to Bernie's. Next time you need a frame off restoration, you need something that you're going to display at the SEMA show. Maybe you're making a movie with $100 million budget and you need some props. Go to Bernie's. That's the kind of business that they are. Bernie Speed Shop, BURNYZZ.com. I want to tell you about David Allen and the team at HusseyPerformance.net. Hussey Perform, they do gaskets. What Of all the things you need in the world of racing, you need good quality gaskets. Yes, they do the copperhead gaskets they're known for, source all in America, made in America, everything in America. But now they have the composite gaskets as well. HusseyPerformance.net, 412-716-4872. Call David Allen and the team, HusseyPerformance.net. Tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. All right, we're getting closer and closer to Josh Hachat. He's on a conference call, guys. That's what's going on. It's like, I'll stall till you get off the conference call. One thing you need to know about NHRA, there's a lot of conference calls. True that. We'll be back after this.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
The number one source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today. Hey, it's Antron Brown, driver of the Macro Tools Top Fuel Dragster, and yes, I'm a 3-time world champ. But you know what? When I win, I go straight to WFO Radio, baby. I want to see you listening in.
Yeah, I want to see you listening in. I got to get a new one. He's a 4-time champion, right? I don't like asking people for liners, guys. I need to be a little more aggressive. That's why I got to hire somebody, right? I should hire a producer to go out there and do all that stuff like, hey, we need a liner from you and get it. That would be cool. Yeah, but there's nobody out there available to do social media, I do all that stuff myself for the most part. That's why it's not that great. The show is good, though. The show is good. All right, Josh Hachat, getting ready to connect. We're going to talk NHRA storylines. We're going to talk championships. Let's see what C5 Pete says. Greg versus Erica driving in the World Series of Pro Mod. You heard it here first. That would be cool. That would be cool. All right, but listen, guys, okay? All joking aside, let's not get too far ahead. Like C5 Pete, you're really ready to skip ahead of the finals? You're that excited? I love the World Series of Pro Mod. I was there at the very first one. I helped out. It's a Florida track. But do we really need to skip ahead to 2026? I don't think so, man. Let's roll it out in the proper cadence. Oh my God, let's get excited about the Gator Nationals, man. It's going to be great. Oh, let's talk about next year's finals. Man, next year's finals are going to be amazing. Don't jump ahead. C5 Pete. Derek says WFO. Blake says Crude needs lots of help. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm kind of saying it in a negative way. I don't think Cruz needs help in the right areas. He told me the other day that he had his 6th-string quarterback in when it came into superchargers, and that is staying up on parts. Look, if I'm going to say anything about Nitro as someone who knows a little, but I know better that I don't know enough to talk too deeply about it, it's freaking hard. That's the thing. In the world of drag racing, nobody is allowed to complain about anything. You'll never hear drag racers complaining except about the track or NHRA and that stuff, because that's the only person they can complain about. But they're not going to whine that it's too hard. No one is allowed to whine that it's too hard because no one's forcing anybody to do this. You're doing it by choice. So you can't say that it's too hard. But I will say, man, it's too freaking hard. You need all these guys and all these parts and all this travel, and you got to have new parts and new pieces, et cetera, and so on at all times. It's hard. And to have one person that does everything is impossible. So look at the best teams. The best teams, they've got people who procure parts. They've got people that manage the guys. They got people that are like the brain trust that make the calls. You got people in a sales department servicing sponsors. If you don't have a staff of high quality people, you're probably not going to be on the cutting edge. And I think Cruz realizes that. And so he brings on Rip to be the guy that goes buys the parts. You make sure we've got good parts. That's your job. I think it's very smart. Someone who does a great job at the NHRA, joining us on WFO. I think his second time on WFO, an untapped resource in the world of drag racing. Please welcome, by reposting the show, Mr. Josh Hachat, the Director of Communications, who's not yet on. Every time I click him, he's not coming on yet. I don't know why he's coming on. I don't see him. Josh, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right, there he is.
All right, here we go.
There he is.
There we go.
Yeah, the software, as you know, of someone who is very computer literate, has changed, right? Without my permission, it has changed. And so the way things worked yesterday are not the way they're working today. So I'm learning to fly a new plane on the air for the first time.
Okay.
But again, we're in drag racing. We're not allowed to complain. What's up, Josh? How are you getting ready for the finals?
I'm pumped. Yeah, I'm more than ready. Leave tomorrow to head out to Pomona, and super pumped to get out there. Yeah, it's leaving some snow back here in Ohio, and it's going to be great weather. Fingers crossed. Everything's going to be great in Pomona. Super pumped. Yeah, a lot of cool things. Obviously, it's great to end the year in Pomona.
So let's learn a little bit about Josh. We might have done this a while back, but let's learn a little bit about Josh so that people feel a connection to you and how you got into this. So how did you get into this, Josh? Drag racing. NHRA is not your first drag racing job. You've been working through and around drag racing. I first met you, years ago at the big pro stock race in Orlando years ago. So how did you get here? Like, give us your quick arc of your career.
Well, quick arc. So it definitely wasn't like in the family at all. I started at a newspaper in the Columbus area, and I was low man on the totem pole. They said, go cover drag racing. And here I am fresh out of college. And my first assignment as a full-time working adult was the Spring Nationals, the NHRA. And my very first professional interview was Larry Dixon, who I had no idea who Larry Dixon was when I first talked to Larry Dixon. And lo and behold, here we are. So I covered the event for several years before it went to Norwalk, and then just kind of stayed active in the sport, did some stuff with ADRL and freelance with Wes and Drag Illustrated, and went to the Door Slammer events, and just I've done a lot with NHRA kind of behind the scenes over the years, working with the PR department as a contract employee. And then after pandemic, it was the right time to come back here, and lo and behold, here we are having a blast.
That is exciting, having a blast. But the second you can get a job in a stick and ball sport, you're gone, right?
No, I think I'm good. Here. I love the people here. I love the team we have. I think I'm good. Yeah, it's a great vibe here.
You love drag racing. Well, that's the thing. So what lesson do we all learn from that? It's about exposing people to the sport. You had not known about it. You saw it. You fell in love with it. You're making your career in it, and you really enjoy it, and you're not going anywhere. There's probably 1 million more people out there just like you that would love to be a part of drag racing that don't know anything about it. And coincidentally, that's your job, Director of Communications. You got to get the word out. How's that going?
Good. Yeah, I think we're on a pretty good run here the last few years. Just trying to figure out ways to get people interested, local media, national media. Our team, we work closely with all sorts of departments. So getting influencers, and, we just had Justin Nunley out in Vegas, and you got to spend some time with him in the booth. That was a blast. So it's neat kind of connecting all these different worlds to our sport with different athletes, different organizations, and all that. And, you bring them out here, and the speed is obviously and something, the pure raw energy of these cars and the power. But it's, for me, it's so much more than that. Every kind of racer has a different story. Everything has a unique story. And there's, just on the pro side, you've got 80 different kind of unique personalities, or maybe even more than that, 100. And it's neat to kind of be able to showcase that for sure. That's really what draws me, is the personalities and just everyone's uniqueness on why they love the sport, what got them in the sport, what drives them, all that good stuff.
Oh, I totally agree. And it's hard, right? you don't have enough bandwidth. Like we don't have enough with all the channels. And you got National Dragster, and you got the Fox Show, and you got the Social with Nikki, all the work that she puts in. We featured Shelby Williams this past weekend, and that interview, like I sat and watched it, and I was, hypercritical of myself. I thought she did a tremendous job, and there's just a zillion amazing stories, and to sort through them and create them, it is a great challenge. Let's talk about the finals as we get ready for the final race of the year. It's amazing that it has gone so quickly. I feel, I don't know, two feelings at once, right? Like the season just started, and also I'm kind of ready for it to be over. What a season it has been. So let's just set the table for the finals. I already talked about Veterans Day, but that's been a big deal. The past couple of years, we do a lot for the veterans. They can get a free meal, challenge coin, come out, great opportunity. T-shirts, proceeds go to vet ticks. Give us the highlights on that in case I missed anything.
Those are the main ones for sure. So Friday, there'll also be kind of like a red carpet entrance for any veteran to get tickets and get in there. Obviously, there's a discount. The In-N-Out stuff, I mean, they're just awesome. In-N-Out providing a free meal for any veteran on Friday. They've done that every year. In the spring, they did something for firefighters. With the fires out there, they did something cool there. So. Yeah, and then the challenge coin and the event shirt as well. So we're going to do a parade during qualifying with all the veterans, and just kind of, again, a nice show of support for them. It's really become a big part of this weekend for sure.
It's been great. It just adds this extra energy to the finals. It kicks us off with like a boost. Because you've got all these, something that's bigger than drag racing happening. Let's just face it. It's bigger than drag racing, honoring the veterans. That's number one. Number two is drag racing. And then we decide our champions. So let's go category by category. So Top Fuel, pretty much locked down. Second championship, Doug Coletta. I'm sure, you and I have spoken about it. There's this thing in sports that once you break through and figure out how to do it, get the monkey off your back, if you will, whatever cliche we want to use, the second one isn't that far behind. And Doug has proven that.
Yeah, pretty awesome. I mean, you think of all the near misses, close opportunities, the run, everything, second place so many times. He finally gets that first one in 23. But even that one, was super tense, comes down to the wire, winner take all. This one's going to be far different. He's going to show up in Pomona, and it's his. So kind of a neat kind of coronation for Doug, and 2 and 3 years is pretty remarkable, but he's been pretty phenomenal in the countdown. Final round at the first, 4 races, won 2 of those, and everyone else is kind of like do well one race, early lost the next. And Doug was just a model of consistency to start the countdown to be in this position. Him and Alan Johnson, obviously they've clicked. Pretty special for him, 2 and 3 years. He mentioned, he wanted to match Scott, in his championships. And, for a while there, you're like, well, may not ever happen, but now here we are, 2 and 3 years.
Yeah. Great stuff. One of my hobbies is the, Alan Johnson cam, right? Like, I think if we had the resources, if we could just put a camera on Alan Johnson at all times, it would be compelling to a lot of people. It's compelling to me. Right. Just seeing his levels of excitement. Like, this is a guy who has an amazing reputation. He's Mount Rushmore of crew chiefs, but he is definitely shows his passion for the sport, man. He's giving big high fives, and he's fist pumping, and he's loving it. And the way they have run in the second half of this season, like they had a little bit of a downtime middle season, first half, and then finishing strong in the countdown. Alan Johnson's reputation in drag racing, like, he keeps getting elevated higher and higher to the highest heights.
And it's like, it shows you just how much, like, how addicting winning and success is, right? He's had tons of it. He gets it a couple years ago, but like, it's always like, what was your last run? And if it's a good one, then he wants the next one. It's pretty remarkable.
And the Brian Hewson attempt for a Coletta 1-2 in the point standings. I know that's very important to them. I admitted to the world, like, I might have done it differently. I don't know, guys. Like, if I'm the guy in charge, I might have tried to lock the championship up in Vegas and then let Sean fight it out at Pomona. And I asked Bob Lawson at Coletta. I was like, hey, man, all right, this thought that I'm thinking, why is it wrong? And Bob Lawson was awesome. He's like, Joe, the old man does not come to the track to watch Doug win. Wants to see his car win. He's here to win races too. And sure enough, Langdon goes out there, beats Doug, and goes to the final round. And I thought, like, all right, that's awesome. Like that's what we all want, I think, out of this sport.
Oh yeah, there's no gimmies even between teammates. You know, you race to the end, and whatever happens. I mean, obviously they had a pretty good idea that Doug was comfortably ahead. It would have taken something crazy for him not to be in a winning position on, you know, Sunday in Pomona. And here we are. He's going to end up clinching at the end of qualifying on Saturday. But yes, they take it, you know, we're going to run competitive no matter what. And that's, you know, that's always good to see. Absolutely.
Now the top number 1 and 2 is not guaranteed though. Justin Ashley, Tommy DeLago, and Jason McCullough, they got something to say about it, and we'll see where it all finishes out. I think they had a really good race in Vegas, and Brittany, right? Like the Brittany Force story. We will get to that. I guess let's do that right now. She delivered something that was maybe not officially promised, but certainly expected by her fans. They wanted to see Brittany win one more time before she went off to start a family, and she did it.
Man, you were like in Dallas. You're like, okay, this might be it. She's going to win. They're running well. You know, even in the heat, putting up crazy numbers, and then you know, just that craziness happens in the semifinals. Can't make the run. You're like, you know, maybe that's it. You know, missed opportunity. It's going to end without a win. But that was super special. That's, you know, the stuff you kind of, from my perspective and so many other fans' perspective, that's stuff that you kind of hope for. Not that you're rooting specifically for a driver, but rooting for a special moment that you would remember. And her winning in Vegas at a track that's, you know, had just crazy memories for her, was really neat. But, you know, now we go to Pomona. She set the record there. Obviously that's been, you know, left in the dust from 22. You know, to see her go 340 there and close out with a win, or a nice even number at 20. I mean, that'd be pretty cool too.
That's it, right. And so I think Josh is explaining to everybody out there, and this is pretty much how I operate as well. Like I don't know, we're beyond rooting for anybody, but rooting for a great story that would bring in new viewers and get them interested in the sport of drag racing. That would certainly be one. Like, wow, this young lady from California with a famous father decides to start a family. She goes to her final race at a track, her home track, drops a 340, wins the race. That's an easy sell, man. For the people at KTLA and all of those, that's a pretty easy sell.
Yes, absolutely. And they're all about it, you know, just heading into the race. It's cool to see the excitement from the LA media. You know, KTLA on down the line, LA Times, everything. It's good. It's pretty exciting to see. And that's a tribute to Brittany and obviously the Force family. But she's kind of embraced this run. You know, she's mentioned a few times, you know, Courtney didn't have that opportunity for, you know, whatever reasons. We don't need to get into that. But it was more like, you know, before Pomona, hey, I'm retiring, where she was able to kind of get this out there and make this last 6 races kind of special. You could definitely see that. It meant a lot to her to see the support from fans, like seeing her for, you know, possibly the last time in a racing sense. So that it's been neat to kind of see that culminate now here in it's going to be a very special moment in Pomona for sure.
No, without a doubt. And I don't know how she, like, we saw her for her 2 championships there. She was very excited. This is going to be different. I think she's been doing a great job of like fighting off the thought of like, wait a second. And, you know, Dave Miller out there, Nitro Dave, who helps out on a lot of crews out there, been doing it many years, veteran. He's like, I hope she comes back, but I doubt she will. And we just don't know. Leah came back, right? Like, we just don't know, and really shouldn't like bog her down with our opinions. Let her go do her thing and decide for herself what she wants to do, whether she wants to come back. But she'll be around in a capacity at John Force Racing. And that story about Josh Hart and John Force Racing and all the things to come for next year, I am willing to push that out there to after the conclusion of this race. I do want to mention, though, since you're the guy, KTLA, LA media, local media of any kind, I'm all for stacking the deck with the WFO universe and like training them what to do. It is my thought that any NHRA fan, when you see any like outside media source with a drag racing story, that's like mandatory repost. That's mandatory share. Josh, am I wrong about that?
No, you're 100% right. Yes. Mandatory.
Mandatory. Mandatory. It's about the driver that you hate the most.
Yes.
Share. It's a drag racing story. They need to know that our stories will gain traction. I spoke with Mike Bryson at Auto Week earlier this year, and he said, man, the drag racing stories get a lot of traction.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it does really well there. That's you want to find compelling stories. They've done a nice job there of putting out unique stuff. So yeah, a very complimentary of the media that we've always had and the media that we've kind of picked up here in the last couple of years. There's a lot of like kind of young up and coming sites and personalities covering the sport. And obviously that's what you want. So
and back in the day, nobody will talk about this. Like this is Josh's job, right? Like it's not send a press release and it ends up in the paper.
No.
That's not how it is. Everybody knows about media industry disruption and all of the people that used to be there and they're not there, and there's new people there and there's not even people there anymore. It's a craft. You got to build relationships with actual individuals. And, my hat's off to you for doing that. Like the grunt work, the time, like meeting people and talking to them about the sport. That's how it has to be done.
Appreciate it. It's definitely a lot of work, but the drivers, they deserve the credit. Once you can kind of sell that relationship, they come out there and they meet these drivers and their stories. They get to, they're sitting in the cars doing live hits from the pits and stuff like that. Our drivers have been so cool about just doing different things. Austin Prock took someone down on a live hit during the hit, went down the track in a Camaro and as they were doing the live hit here at Pomona a couple of years ago. So they make it way easy on me.
Excellent. It's it's a big part of it. And back in the day, like things that it's hard to compare. Back in the day, there were so many fewer sports options, things. And you had RJ Reynolds Tobacco funding the deal, right? It's a very different universe here in 2025. And I think
more sports, less people to cover it. So it's an interesting dynamic for sure, but no complaints here.
Exactly. Well, but look at me though. I've made a whole thing myself on NHRA drag racing, and I'm hanging tough, hanging tough. Thanks to HusseyPerformance.net, quality copperhead. Thanks to David Allen and the team. Redline synthetic oil. But all right, let's move to funny car. Is there any other Top Fuel story that you think we need to talk about? Obviously, Josh Hart going to Force. That's a story. But I look at the sheet. Tony Stewart sitting 5th in points. Let's get a comment on that real quick. Like, what has Tony Stewart meant to the sport of drag racing from your perspective?
He's brought just a ton of credibility for sure. People that obviously are well aware of him and what he's done. It's really opened the door to a lot of very exciting things, which, I feel like we've taken advantage of, whether it's getting on the Pat McAfee show, Barstool Sports, just to name a couple. It's all due to kind of Tony's name and what he's done in his career. He's been willing to kind of do that to push NHRA too, which has been just awesome. And I think that's opened the door for getting other drivers, recognition, Antron, Brittany, Leah, so on and so forth. I think that can only help everyone else as we branch out. But Tony, obviously he could have just came in here and raced, but he's been willing to say, hey, utilize me however you want. And that's been super cool.
Yeah, he has been great and gracious and helpful in many different ways. People get to see him for 30 seconds or 50 seconds in an interview on NHRA on Fox, maybe something long form for social. But you really see the power of Tony Stewart when the cameras aren't on, when he is just like being himself and not on the air, which is, it's an interesting situation. All right, let's talk funny car. Austin Prock, the Austin Prock factor, a season of total domination. He's on the precipice as well. Matt Hagan gets that win to make it not assured, but it is highly likely Hey, what are we doing? You don't like the look of the earpods?
No, I want to go on Sans earpods now.
He wants to go Sans earpods. Okay, that's fine. You can do whatever you want, Josh. But I'm going to notice it. But let's talk about Austin Prock. He has to win first round, as I understand it. Qualifying points are going to make a difference with this. So I can't really say, but if they get no qualifying points, then he's got to win first round. But you give us what you have.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Hagan needs like a huge run in qualifying to get under 90 to have an opportunity to shorten it by a round. That's going to be tough, though. Obviously, that's a lot to make up just in qualifying. So Austin would need to really struggle. Hagan would have to just kind of crush in qualifying to get it there. So yeah, as it is now, Austin would have to win round one and Hagan, or lose round one. Hagan would have to go on to win the race. If Austin wins round one, he gets a championship second straight year, which obviously he's more than earned. Certainly Hagan has come on strong. That's cool to see the development of that team and just kind of his energy this year has been, he's always had great energy, but this year, especially with a new team and just kind of the role that he's played in bringing everyone along as they battled through a ton of stuff has been neat to see too.
Well, what is it? 9 wins, 11 finals, every one of our Friday night bonuses. I'm sure some Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty challenges in there. Season of.
If he wins or does well in Pomona, he wins the championship. If someone went in and added up, this is what you get with each win. This is what you get for winning Indy. This is what you get for the regular season championship. This is what you get for winning the call out mission, all this other ones for a championship. I mean, I think you'd be pretty impressed. A pretty healthy number if you go in and add it up.
Well, exactly. Could it be the richest single season in drag racing history? I would like to know those numbers as well. But our listeners, they're very astute, Josh. That's the thing. It's like when you're on WFO, you got to be ready for everything. And the Pits podcast confirming what I thought was happening, that your cat.
Guilty. Guilty.
A historic first on WFO radio, guys. Good job, Pits podcast. I wasn't going to call them out, but the second you did, hey, we have cats here, man. We have cats here. They get sequestered during the show. We've got 5 cats. What makes the difference with Austin Prock? Why is he so good in your opinion? And is he the guy? You become a star by showing up over and over again. John Force is a star because he kept winning. He wasn't a crazy person one time. He was this amazing personality over a 10-year period. He won 10 consecutive world championships, and people might have not liked him, and they grew to love him.
Yeah.
And what about Austin Prock? As he's not there yet. He's not like an instant superstar with fans loving him like the way they love Brittany. He's grinding it out, man. He's the Austin Prock. He's the talented kid. He's putting it on everybody. Where do you see Austin as a star driver if he becomes a 2-time champ?
Yeah, he's definitely on his way there. First off, Austin is willing to do almost anything you ask of him, PR or media appearance wise, which is super cool. He makes time for everything. But what I've noticed from him is just how this means a lot to everybody. Everyone takes this seriously, but this is kind of a different level for him. Obviously he was born into this, family's deeply embedded in this, but he takes every aspect of this seriously. When he's not at the track, he's thinking about it. He's doing stuff to get better. He's working on the car. When he's there, he takes this extremely seriously, everything he can do. And you just kind of hear him talk about it where it's just like, I could have been a split second quicker getting back into the car when it shook or this or that. Like every little thing he takes seriously. Like this is like a legit race car driver who wants to dominate, who wants to be the best, who wants to win every single thing possible. And I think that's, without that, you can be great, you can be really good, but I don't know that you can be kind of a superstar, so to speak, in our sport.
Interesting. I agree. This is his job. It's his primary focus.
Yeah.
And we can list other great drivers who've had great success.
Yeah.
You have an independent business that funds the deal. That's got to be your primary focus.
Yep.
Because, and the sport once was that, and then it became, I don't know if there was ever a time where most of the drivers got paid to be drivers. Like, I don't know. It was always kind of a self-funded sport at some level. Corporate sponsorship came in for a while. And now, as we're figuring it out, it's a nice mix. It's a hybrid, right? But Austin Prock has experienced it. He knows if he doesn't do everything he can possibly do, his talent is not enough to keep him in the driver's seat. He's gotta have money. And the way he's doing it is by being a badass on the track.
Yeah. And you can just see his intensity. Like, if he's just sitting there and his legs, going 1,000 miles an hour, as he's thinking about racing or looking at this, or, he's up on the starting line all the time, watching for stuff. He's just totally in tune to drag racing. And, there's a lot of people like that, but you definitely see that in him. And that's definitely made a difference.
100%. And a great and fitting champion as far as domination over 2 seasons. This is one of the greatest 2-year runs ever. And for Jimmy and Thomas to do it together as a family, that family team united together. Like if this thing keeps going, it's going to be really hard to knock them off of the top. We'll see how that all plays out. Any
Joe,
other funny? Yes.
What do you last year or this year? What year do you think has been the better year for him? Because I say this year.
I agree with you. I agree with you. This year, last year, Austin, what was great and dominated, but I don't think he didn't have the target on his back. He didn't have all the extra stuff that comes with being a champion. All these other drivers were like, let's see how the kid does. And it's like, oh, damn. Now everybody knew exactly what they were getting. And he went out there. He's got 9 wins. It could end up being 10 wins. Like, that's amazing. So I think anytime anything can happen once. Once you become a 2-time champion, it's a little bit different. So I think the second one is a bigger deal.
Yeah, I agree.
Excellent. I'm glad we concur on that. That's a good deal. Yeah. All right. Next, any other funny car stories you think we should, talk about as we move along? I mean, Hagan, great year. They got a great team, great year. Just, they were rebuilding, and I think they've done a great job rebuilding. Daniel Wilkerson coming, finally emerging. We love the kid. We want to see him do well. Spencer Hyde, he's in the contest for Rookie of the Year. We want to see him out there. He's probably the Rookie of the Year this year. Tasca, 10th in points. Maybe a little bit of a disappointing year for Bob, for JR Todd, but they'll be back. Anything that strikes your fancy that you want to throw out there?
Well, I do think just the sheer numbers this year in Funny Car have been impressive. 21 in coming to Pomona. I think we had 20 in Vegas. We've had 20, plus 4 or 5 times this year. I think the depth is pretty impressive this year. I think there's 14 or 15 full-time plus tons of talented part-timers. So I feel like Funny Car is in a very, very good place. And I will say, I think Top Fuel is headed to a good place. There's been some ups and downs, people in and out of cars this year, but I think you're going to see a nice uptick in Top Fuel cars next year.
I hope so. The Matty Gordon story, tremendous. Very excited about that. Look, it's what do you want to see? Right. Ebbs and flows. There's always been ebbs and flows. It's always been up and down, both categories, like balancing each other out. Funny Car strong, Pro Stock strong, Pro Stock motorcycle getting stronger. Top Fuel. The cars that are there are the best of the best. It's just that simple. So, what do you want to do there? It's no disrespect to anyone, but right now the cars that show up at NHRA and Top Fuel are amazing race cars. Like anybody can win to that point. All right, Pro Stock, the Greg and Dallas show all year long. It's really been Greg and Dallas all year long with a smattering of other personalities being involved. Erica got her 50th. That's great. But they are the first to say that they didn't have a year that they expected. They've got legitimate reasons, and I accept them. I genuinely do. I found it to be very interesting. Greg holds off the tide of the youth 1 year ago, but this year it appears that the dam is breaking, and Dallas Glenn will earn a championship I didn't realize 8 wins, 13 finals, 17 races.
Crazy.
He hasn't gotten the appropriate credit for that. For, I guess, I don't know, maybe because his car is white. Everybody thinks he's such a good guy. But that's a dominant season in pro stock. You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's, I mean, between him and Greg, I mean, what is it? 13 wins out of the 17 races, 14 wins, I think. That's remarkable. Dallas has been awesome. It was kind of neck and neck, and then you've kind of seen Dallas pull away in the countdown. He's been superb. He's kind of remarked how good his car has been. Obviously, he's been tremendous on the starting line. And this is kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's, kind of his coronation moment where, an easy comparison to me is Jordan and the Pistons. And, it took him a couple times getting knocked down by them, and last year was the ultimate kind of like tough moment where he gets it to the final, winner take all, loses to Greg. That was Greg's kind of shining moment. And now this year is that next year when Jordan and the Bulls sweep the Pistons, go on to win the championship, and they go on their obviously crazy run. That's what it kind of seems like Dallas, is doing, neck and neck with Greg all season. But he's just kind of pulled away a little bit here in the countdown. It seems like it's, you hate to say foregone conclusion because anything can happen in Pomona, but it seems like he's on the right track to get this first title, which would be really cool to see.
And what is the have to happen situation for that? I believe it's 92 points. So that's 3 full rounds of racing. Yeah. If Greg were to be able to get qualifying points and lower that beneath 90, because it's 30 points a round, that could change some things, assuming Dallas has a extremely early out.
Yeah. Greg needs to get it under 90 to really have a realistic shot, which, that car's been crazy fast all year. I mean, he can definitely qualify number one. He's done it a bunch this year. I mean, that car's lived in the 40s at just about everywhere. I'd love to track how many 40s we've seen this year, because it's definitely at an all-time high in this EFI era. So yeah, he's got to get it under 90 for sure. But it's going to be tough because Dallas, obviously he's been right there with them in qualifying for sure. But under 90 puts it at, 3 rounds. So doable, but again, Dallas hasn't really shown any chinks in the armor this year.
And I don't know. I back to rooting for a story. Like, I don't want the story to be a collapse at the final race and the great. Right. Like, I think I agree that most people, the kid has earned it. 100%. How many times have you heard people say casually, racing was so much better back in the day when the guys did their own stuff and drove their own trucks and did their own clutches and got their hands dirty. And this era of these guys that they fly in and they grab their helmet and they get in the car. We don't like that. People say that all the time. Dallas Glenn and Greg Anderson is the face of that. He is the face of doing it all. He is driving his own truck out there. He raced Super Street, a great category, out there in Vegas. Dallas Glenn, if you don't have a fan, someone you're a fan of in this fight, then he should be your guy because of all those reasons.
Yeah, he's a workhorse for sure. Behind, in the shop, on the car, everything speaks to where pro stock is as a class. So many young, talented drivers for sure.
Absolutely. Allie Bland out there says, Josh, stunned that you're on here, I guess. How about a repost there, Allie? Let's do it. Right.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Blake wants to know, let's get a fan question in here. What are you excited about for next year? I don't know, Blake. I don't know if I want to go past the finals, Blake. I'm retracting the question, Blake.
It's the 75th. I mean, there you go, right?
It's the 75th. Look at
3 new places. 3 new places we're going to.
Well, we are going to talk about that before we let you go. That'll be the final thing. And then Pro Stock Motorcycle. Okay, this is it. Like, I think everybody has got an emotional connection here. It's Richard and Gage head to head inside of one round. As I get it, unless something crazy happens in qualifying, whoever goes farther in eliminations is the champ. Do I have it right?
You have it right. It'd have to get over 30, which seems unlikely for that to happen. I think this is like for me, the ideal way for Pomona to play out, where you get kind of one champ on Saturday. You get to like celebrate their season and how special that is. He gets his attention. You get one that could come early, like say Austin. You get one that maybe comes a little bit later in the day, if that's Dallas or, what have you. And then you've got one like we've had the last 2 years, that comes down to perhaps the final pass of the year, winner take all. Richard versus Gage, the dominant champ versus a guy seeking his first championship. 2 years ago we had Leah versus Doug, last year Dallas Gregg, and now potentially Gage versus Richard. So that would be cool to see that one go down to the absolute wire, winner take all. Richard's just an awesome ambassador for the sport, so well spoken, such a cool story and upbringing to see kind of where he is now. And obviously we know Gage has won everything possible for 2.5, almost 3 years. So pretty remarkable.
It's so exciting. And I'm going to talk to the people who don't like motorcycles. All right, guys, listen, I get it. Okay. I grew up in a car household. My dad was like, Joe, I had a friend that died on a motorcycle. Don't get on a motorcycle. And so I was just like, on motorcycles, whatever. But when I started to really cover the sport, I fell in love with the people that are on the motorcycles. I can't relate to riding one. I can relate to driving a top fuel dragster more so than riding one of those motorcycles, man. I just can't relate. But you got to put like that weirdness aside and just pick one of these people. Just pick one. Gage, the machine, man. The machine. He's like the Terminator. He's coming at you. He's just coming at you. At that one race, trip zip to 005. Like that tells the tale right there. And then you've got Richard Gadsden, who is like, I can do this too. And not afraid, Philly guy. He's out there. He's ready to fight. This is awesome what we have to root for between these two characters, and they're on the same team. They got the same equipment. Nobody's got to worry about, the rules and the weight break and all that stuff. It's just heads up between these two guys. And it's Eddie versus Andrew, kind of.
Right.
There's a lot of layers here. It's going to be super fun.
Well, and remember, 2 years ago, Eddie's final season, he's trying to get that 50th, and then Gage just beats the heck out of him, I think 5 straight final rounds to end the year. So that's probably in the back of Eddie's mind as he's tuning Richard to get this championship a little bit. All in good fun, but very competitive at the same time. Richard's not afraid to dish it out. He's very kind of confident in his speaking and his abilities, and just a genuine dude for sure. Really like everything he brings to the table. It'd mean a lot to see him win the first championship, but there's no denying just how great Gage and that bike is either. It's just incredible to see what they've done. Historic run, so many records that he's broken. Chance for 3 straight now for him.
Yeah, amazing. And just want to say to Eddie Craywick, who occasionally watches the show, I would have never brought that up, Eddie. Like, he was this guy right here.
He texted me that.
Did he?
No, you did.
Oh, they're right. It's true. Listen, these stories, the racers don't forget anything.
Right.
I might forget a story that was like, I thought it was like a secondary story or whatever. They don't forget anything. They remember everything that ever happens, like 10 years ago, et cetera, and so on. So there it is, the finals set up, what must happen, what has to happen. Of course, all of our Lucas Oil Series championships, Top Alcohol Dragster still on the line, Super Gas, Super Comp still on the line, Competition Eliminator still online. We're going to go through all that. It's going to be fun. But before we let you go, let's talk about, someone asked about SEMA news and everything. To me, the one that is really, really a big deal is the return of the Rock, and more importantly, the three new races, right? I was watching some action from Budds Creek, from Maryland, that I was like, man, okay, we're going there now. Suddenly I'm more interested in just like stuff that's happening. Oh, we're going there. I was just at Rockingham. Rockingham was announced as the TBD race, South Georgia Motorsports Park notwithstanding. We can talk about the other two in the future. Let's talk about the Rock. Big deal. I scouted it. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a blowout, super blockbuster race because the Charlotte crowd isn't ever bad. It just looks bad because the place is the biggest place on the planet. You take most of those people and you put them at Rockingham, and suddenly you've got a Woodstock style event. You just did the press conference yesterday. What did we learn? Well,
we learned throughout this whole time, just like, they bought this track in 22, Dan and Al, and their goal from this was to have an NHRA national event. Like, they were very, very transparent in that. Like, we bought this in hopes of having a national event, and we will do XYZ to make sure that happens. And they've done that and then some. Totally renovated the place, stands, pits, all the buildings, everything on the property, and there's still work to be done. They've got a whole checklist of items that they're going to get done before, in the next 10 months. So their enthusiasm, that excitement, it was like kind of a crowning moment for them, for sure. Dan Scott Racing, passionate about racing for sure. And just that excitement, and you could feel it in the whole community. You had state senators, you had House of Representatives, you had tourism people, you had city managers, you had all sorts of people there yesterday as part of this announcement. You can just kind of see and feel that energy and their passion for having NHRA involved. And that just kind of builds on itself. It makes NHRA excited. It makes the fans excited. You can just kind of, that collective ball is rolling downward, and you can just kind of feel that energy coming. And, we still got 10 and a half months before we're even there. But that's a racing community, that's kind of had its ups and downs. NASCAR came back last year across the street with the Xfinity Series and trucks. And now here we are coming next week. So some major happenings in this city, and you can just kind of feel the energy, the excitement for it.
And
very cool. Very cool.
Oh, well, so I just raced there, Race Project Pontiac out there, did a double divisional. I'm immediately checking schedules to find out when and where is Super Street going to run, all of those things. They don't have the largest pit area in the world, but certainly can accommodate the core NHRA classes. And I'll leave that up to the schedule makers to decide. But what many people were wondering about is, other than the race, what's the community like? And as I understand it, they held the U.S. Open there, Pinehurst, 20 minutes down the road. They have had major events in the area. There were multiple hotels. There was a lot of things going on there. They're trying to develop this area, and the NHRA is going to be a part of it. That was very exciting.
Yeah. You get this is going to be a marquee event. The whole town is going to kind of shut down and come together for NHRA being there. And, you see that at a Brainerd and an Epping, and, there's probably a few other ones right off the top of my head, but that's going to be the case here is okay, hey, NHRA Nationals at the Rock is this weekend in September. And it's going to be a whole deal. You're going to have stuff Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just centered around this race and at the track. And yeah, it's going to be very kind of festive atmosphere for sure.
All right. And so my question was, because I went down to they have these concrete seats and it's kind of carved into the side of a hill. And I think it's got so much potential. And I'm really good at spending other people's money, right? We could build a mega. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy spending other people's money. But the viewing perspective of this race, a countdown race, is going to be one of the best on the whole tour. I do know that there were some updates that they said that they're gonna make. Can you share what they were or what they say about that? Because they were working on replacing those concrete stands, and they were about, I would say, a third of the way done with what they were going to do. What else did they say they had to do?
Yeah, so obviously complete that is the first kind of item, and then they're doing a couple things with relocating the fence and making some improvements there, increasing. They talked about this yesterday as well. The height of the track walls have to be raised a little bit for a national event, relocating the scoreboard, extending the track walls down a little bit as well. Some new pit area, new asphalt pit area as well. So they've got a whole 7-8 items that they're still working on leading into the national event, all with a kind of pretty strict timeline of when they want to have it done well ahead of time. So I think looks good now. It's going to look even better September.
I'm very excited about it. I'm excited about the Rock, new venues, new energy, fresh faces, not at the expense of any of our old partners, but this is good. This is good stuff. And let's see what they do. And that's that. Any final thoughts, Josh? Anything that we didn't discuss that you wanted to, that's something that's on a headline that you think that the WFO universe needs to think about before Pomona in the finals?
No, I think we covered everything. I just feel like we're in a good spot, in the sport. We start the year, there's some weather stuff with Gainesville and, just some stuff, stuff out of your control you got to deal with. But I feel like we've really had good momentum, the bulk of this year, building up. We've had great great energy and momentum in the countdown all the way through, TV ratings to racing to people in the stands. I think it's all kind of been there, and you can just kind of feel this good momentum going into Pomona and then in the off season. And I think next year's going to be just spectacular.
Any other big stories like this person? Are we finished with silly season announcements? Are there more to come?
Yeah, I think there's more for sure. There could be some this weekend.
Oh, really?
We'll see. I don't know. I have no details, but there's more to come for sure.
Well, so on that, media expert, when is the right time to drop big news, in your opinion? Like, this is something I wonder. Is it this weekend as the finals are happening and people are thinking about drag racing, or is it in the wake after that's over, in the afterglow, and then you wait for PRI? And like, there's an art to this. What do you think?
Well, I think dropping it right on top of a race weekend is tough. If you're talking about maybe early in the week, I think you can kind of build, as energy starting to build for, Pomona, if you've got something Monday, Tuesday that you want to announce, but putting it right on top of the race, you could argue maybe it doesn't, it kind of defeats itself, or, kind of self-combusts on itself or whatever. But I think you have to be strategic about when you do it. But coming right off of it, you're ending the season. You've got all these people talking. I think you got to deal with Thanksgiving and holidays, but I think you want to keep it fresh in people's minds. So I think you look to right after the year for some big announcements too, I think is the way to do it.
And longtime listener Derek, he knows how it goes. As soon as WFO goes off the air, that's when
emergency broadcast, though, right?
That's it. As soon as we went off the air, that's when they would drop all the news, and I would be like, click, and my email box would fill up with all kinds of great stuff that I could have talked about. It's like, guys, an hour sooner, please. Right. Josh, thank you very much for joining us on the show. This was good time. Did you enjoy this?
Oh, it's a blast. Yeah, love to come back.
Are you willing to do more in the future?
Absolutely, anytime.
Excellent. That's great. No, I appreciate it. You got a great passion for drag racing, and you're in the fight, man. You're out there. You're in the fight. Whenever I hear people like say, NHRA, I think about you, and I think about Nikki, and I think about all the people behind the scenes, Kurt Spittler, who are working so hard. And it's like, no, man, those people don't know what the hell they're talking about. So
appreciate it, Joe.
All right, we'll see you this weekend.
All right, sounds good. See you, Joe.
There goes Josh Hachat with us here on WFO Radio, Director of Communications for the National Hot Rod Association. Good stuff. And there you go. There's Allie Bland. Allie, also, I should have mentioned Allie, right? Is one of those people that, for me, it's hard. I had this conversation a little bit. This will be a final thought. If you have a final comment, please drop it in the comment section, guys. If you have a final thought, drop it in the comment section as we get ready to conclude a season. Remember, WFO will continue into the winter break. We're going to be at PRI. I'm super excited about that. We're accepting applications here, social media and producing and all that stuff. No guarantees, but we are as we attempt to grow. But it only happens because of our great sponsors. Let me tell you about a couple of these fine folks, and then I'll give you my final thought on this whole drag racing experience of 2025. Marvin Rodak, this guy's been with me since day one, guys. 817-924-6821. Order some coffee. It is the best in the world, legitimately. 817-924-6821. Rodak's coffeeandgrills.com. Really appreciate them. And also, our friends at Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. Like Frank Hawley. When I originally, I'm going to be doing a show and we're going to be talking to an audience, we agreed that the Dragster Adventure is the best thing for them to pitch out here. Like, not everybody is going to get their super comp license. And if you are going to get your super comp license, you probably already know that the place to go is Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. You know that. But if you just want to have fun driving a dragster, a step beneath getting your license, the Dragster Adventure is something that they do. They do it for corporate partners. They do it for, families. If you want to do an event, they'll put on a race for you and you just show up. It's the ultimate arrive and drive experience. And they makes a great holiday gift. That's why I really start pitching it heavy at the holidays. FrankHawley.com. Tell them you heard about it on WFO. When they pick up the phone, just say, WFO, I heard it. And you will be taken care of, right? I think it's a great value with all the things that are out there in the world. FrankHawley.com. Our friends at Redline Synthetic Oil. stepping up for WFO this year. Mark Beatty and the team, they help out so many people. So when you need something for your water system, your cooling system, make sure it's water wetter. It's just that simple. Available at every major auto parts store. Water wetter by Redline Oil. Motor oil, gear oil, everything lubrication, Redline is doing it. They have it. And they support this show. They make it happen. We appreciate them. And when I had to change my water in Project Pontiac, I drove an extra 10 miles to make sure I could get water wetter, as opposed to just putting nothing in there. Thank you, Redline Synthetic Oil. FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters, FTI. They did such a great job with their banner placement at the SEMA show. Like, everybody who watched the NHRA broadcast from SEMA knows about FTI because they were in the background. There's Grant, there's everybody, there's Paulie. They're all in the background. When it came time to pick a transmission for Project Pontiac, the 180 straight cut gear set, FTI converter. We love our graphs. We love the reliability. The thing is 3,300 pounds, pretty much 34. And their customer service has been amazing. FTIperformance.com. Check them out. Tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. And all of our great friends like Jesse, like Matt Latino. Guys, I got a catalytic converter problem with my Cadillac, the CTSV, 20 years old, things 2006. Can you believe it? I was so happy to get that car. It was my victory car after my XM satellite radio career. And I love it. LS2, Tremec 6-speed, driving the other day, code. What's this code? What is it? Catalytic converters no longer efficient. Something. Oh my God, catalytic converter. Bring it to my mechanic. They tell me about the code. They tell me, yeah, except the problem is, Castello, they don't make this catalytic converter for this extremely rare vehicle anymore. You're screwed. I'm screwed. Except I got a guy. Jesse Converters, the G Sport brand, exactly for this situation. And we're going to work out a solution. Thanks to Mac and Eric Latino and Jesse Converters. Am I the only one? You know, some people are saying, yeah, put headers on it. Like, I don't want a loud car, man. I already got a loud car. I want a car that complies, but still has great high performance. That's what Jesse Converters is all about. Check them out online. And our friends at Total Seal Piston Rings, of course, TotalSeal.com. And everybody who helps out in the WFO universe, we appreciate you, especially like Bernie's Speed Shop. Talked about Bernie's at the start of the show. Josh Hart and his team there at Bernie's. If you're watching on the vertical feed, guys, yeah, I got to figure out how to make this better. StreamYard, not great, but better than nothing, I suppose. BURNYZZ.com. Foggett, Gary Stinnett's brand, available at summit-racing-equipment.com. And our WFO Patreons. Appreciate them as well. You can join patronage at patreon.com/WFO Radio. All right, I've stalled long enough to get your final thoughts, and I'll give you mine. This sport of NHRA drag racing in 2025, it was a very interesting and unique season. It's a wonderful and beautiful sport. The people who work so hard to be a part of it. You know, I was joking about them a little bit earlier that they'll never whine, they'll never complain unless it's about, you know, something else, but not about how hard it is. Not about how hard it is, but boy, it is super hard. It's super hard to just get to the track. It's so much easier to go sit on the beach. It's so much easier to grab a golf bag and go and smack the white ball. That's a very humbling sport, but it's just easier to attain. Like, if you want to drag race, it's going to take extra effort. Just that simple. And when we come down to the final race of the year in Pomona, this is the race. This is the race. The feeling that you get from the sun and the light and the air and the sky in Southern California. Like, look, you can be from the middle of Texas, and you can be from the middle of Florida, you can be from the beaches of the Panhandle and many beautiful places in the world. And I'm not disputing any of it. But Southern California gets a lot of hype for its climate. And to be there and see the sun setting and the beautiful pink and purple sky as nitro cars are going down the track, and you know that championships are going to be won and lost, even if it's Doug Coletta, and you think about Doug, second championship, all the work, all the sacrifice, all the effort, Connie Coletta, what he means to the sport. They're going to win, and they're going to be there, and they're going to be in the pits, and you're going to be able to walk by, and you're going to be able to look at them and watch them celebrate and feel this feeling. That's what this sport is all about. And this one event, this lone event, captures it unlike any other because it's the finals. It's it. It's over. It's done. It's the last day of school. And you walk away and you go to the holidays and you go to PRI and you get ready for Gainesville next year. But it is a very special event. We're honoring veterans. So come to this event, guys. If you're a hot rodder, if you're a car show guy, if you're a domestic guy, if you're an import guy, come to this event, guys. This is the one you come to the finals and experience all of this. Have yourself a double-double with cheese at the track, as I plan to do. You see Josh Hachat there, and you wave at him. He's like, hey, WFO. This is the event. And then the awards banquet. For me, it's one of the best things. Jason Logan on Life's a Drag is always like, we got to get the fans involved with the awards banquet. And I'm like, no, don't do it. We have disagreements. But it's such a cool thing to see the culmination of the work, the culmination of the effort to be a world champion in the NHRA. And you know, my little super street car, it's driving 12 hours to Rockingham and back. Like, man, that was tough. And it was expensive. It wasn't easy. Like, it was taxing. Like, it wore me out. Doing it and racing. These guys, Justin Lamb, he's out there. He's doing it every week. He's 6-time world champion. Like, that's remarkable. Certainly, to use Josh's word. So come out to the event and don't crap on anything. You know, I spent a lot of this time this weekend looking at some social media and I see, you know, like, I don't know why anybody's running down anybody, period. Worry about yourself. Worry about doing better. And you will. And you will. All right, let's see what the final thoughts are. C5 Pete, Joe, I'll see you in Pomona. My birthday bucket list is to go to the finals. So dang excited. And you should be, Pete. One of our listeners, Troy, who has now started his own podcast. I've yet to listen, so I can't endorse it just yet, but I'm sure it's great. He's good. Right? He goes, you know, why don't they add Pomona to the end of the Western Swing and go Seattle, Sonoma, Pomona, and then make Vegas last? It would be very convenient that way. And the answer is he's not wrong. It would be very convenient that way. But you would damage something that is like a religious experience for drag racing. The finals at Pomona. It is that great, in my opinion. I love it so much. Pomona, this small track, it's relatively small. It's right in the middle of a community. There are houses like hundreds of feet away. People's yard, you know, they're here in Nitro. They're dealing with us. You have to honor that. You have to respect that, what it is. And if you're outside of California, and I know there's a lot of anti-California publicity out there, yo, California, you know, like people get all angry about people's states that they happen to live in. I don't understand that. You know, maybe it's you. Oh, man, Florida. What are you doing, man? 50 states, United States of America. You know, from many, we are one. Guys, this is a great event. It's a great event. Richard says, thanks for a great live show. Thank you very much. Ant Dog says, I will not miss Reading or MIR. Well, you shouldn't. All the new venues. By the way, good luck getting in there. Good luck getting in there. Get your tickets. Limited number of tickets. Why are they limiting the tickets? Why are they letting money go? Let me get ahead of that. They want to provide a great customer service experience. That's why. So they're going to limit the tickets to make sure that they get the traffic flow right and they get the food right and they get everything right and they got enough for everybody. And it's, you know, they have soft opens for a reason in the world. And so if you want tickets to MIR or South Georgia, I would have bought them already. No joke. Because there will be someone that shows up at the gate. There's like, hi, I got my money. Can I come in? They're going to be like, I'm sorry, no. Fire Marshal Bill is over here. And he says, no. That's at least as I understand it. Great show today. Safe travels. Thank you very much. Travel tomorrow morning. Yeah, a little concerned about that. Glad the government shutdown is ending and hopefully everybody goes, you know, is working and they do not cancel flights from Miami to Los Angeles. The NHRA Finals is on my bucket list too. Way to go, Blake. Great show, Joe. May all your travels be stress-free. Yes, I hope so. Sunday could possibly be the last time we see a Force go down the racetrack. Wow, Steve Brenwell. Way to bring it down. But it's also true. It's also true. John Force, Brittany Force, Courtney Force, like someone with the last name Force, not Force bloodline. The bloodline is strong, but last name Force could be another reason. If you're within a 15-hour drive. Yeah, he says, I hope not. Double. Yeah, you got to get it. Don't crap on anything. WFO Joe. Thank you, Allie. Yeah, well, really. But everybody knows I try to be positive as often as is possible. Don't worry. There's negativity, but I try to not put it out there. I have a lot of bikes, might have to build you one. I went to a bike park about 10 years ago in Los Angeles, and I got the idea I should have a BMX bike. Probably better that I don't. Dave Miller, also still too hot in Pomona in August. Well, exactly. We did that. And you just don't mess with the finals. That's it. Anyone who's been to the finals knows you don't mess with the finals because it's a perfect thing. It really is. It's a perfect thing. So you don't mess with it. You don't try to reorganize it or we're going to shift it around. You just leave it as it is. And the people who get it, get it. Remember, guys, the most popular flavor of ice cream is vanilla. The most popular flavor is vanilla. Is vanilla the best flavor? No. It's the one that appeals to the most people. What does that tell you about most people? Royce and Jason always put on a world-class experience. I love going to MIR. I'm very excited about it. Some of those Pro Mod runs this weekend. 5-1 Pro Mod. Not NHRA legal, but still, that's sick. Sick. I bought 3 airline tickets to ensure I get to LA. I don't understand that strategy. I don't want to go into it, but I don't understand that strategy. If the air traffic controllers aren't there, then what the difference does it make? You got 3 tickets. It's just something to cruise around on. Too old for stunts. Yeah, I am definitely too old for stunts. And I'm figuring this out the hard way. Oh, well. All right, guys. WFO. Thanks to Josh Hachat, Brittany Force, and Matt Hagan for appearing on the show. And this is it. Next week, there will not be an NHRA Nitro in this time slot because I will be traveling back from the awards banquet. I will have experienced championship celebrations. I'll have consumed multiple double-doubles. The season will be over. Good news is, tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time, Life's a Drag. Jason Logan, Elin Werner. You do not have to change feeds to hear their wisdom. Subscribe, click the bell. Last week, we had a weird issue with our podcast feed, and everything just was delayed. It's like the pipe gets clogged with podcasts, and then they all kind of push out at the same time. I don't know why. I'm researching. We got our tech team on it. I don't know. That's what the deal is. So that's that. Is it going to be Richard Gadsden or is it going to be Gage Herrera? That's a wild one. Austin Prock, I have confidence that they're going to figure out how to bring it home. Dallas Glenn, there's nobody that doesn't like Dallas. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? In this world where if there's something nice, people want to muddy it up. You can't do it with Dallas Glenn. And that's why when Richard Freeman was on a few weeks ago, hearing Erica talk about it, they all want to see this guy get a championship. When you have the respect of your competitors, enemies, when you have that kind of respect, you deserve it. And of course, Doug Coletta is Doug Coletta. There's nothing else you can say about Doug Coletta. Wins the second. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Appreciate you. If you were watching this in vertical on YouTube, comment. How was the experience? Should we keep doing it? All right, WFO, see you in Pomona. Let's do it. The finals.